Today, I'm going to talk to you about that point in time where you have a goal, you have a plan of action to take, and it comes time to take that action and you don't. What's happening there? I'm Missy Hughes, and I'm a productivity coach. I teach you simple and easy ways to get things done. So use the link in the comments to this video to sign up to get weekly tips that teach you how to take action now. So you've got a goal. And when you have a goal, you break that down into action steps. You've got those action steps. And listen, if you haven't got those two things, probably you've got an idea of something that you want in your life and some way it might take to get there. Some things you might need to practice. So don't worry if you don't have like a laid out plan ahead of you. This video is still useful for you. Um, but you go to take the action. You go to like practice the thing that you're going to practice that's going to help you get better and reach your goal, right? And you don't want to take the action. Why? Why is that? You go instead of taking the action, you do something easy like if you're me, you clean something or you read a book or you do something for somebody else because those are easy. Those are simple. They don't take a lot of emotion. They're very neutral, right? Um, and if you really wanted to kind of sweep this item under the rug and like get rid of it, your brain can tell you things like, I've got too much going on to do this right now. I am too busy to figure this out right now. I've got to learn X, Y, and Z before I'm ready to do that, before I'm going to know how to do this action plan. Your brain will offer all of these to you to say, yeah, you're right. Don't do that thing. And there will be some element of truth to each of those. You are busy. You do have a lot going on. There is a wealth of knowledge out there that you could bring to yourself that would make you more amazing, probably. And what's also true is you can take a try at this first thing. You can see what happens. You can use that information when and see how it goes. And that can be your education. That can be part of your education. So when your brain says, "Oh, you're too busy to do this," that might be also be true, but also you're not too busy to reach your goals, right? If it is important to you and you know that it is important to you, then you switch some things around to prioritize to give yourself the time. The time never is just like wrapped up in a bow. Here you go. Here's some extra time. So what's going on in this scenario? Why do we let our brain say no, now's not the right time? What's going on? When you think about your goal, when you're dreaming about it, when you're in that creating phase of it, you think about how it will feel when you get there. Oh my gosh, when I have a greater income, I'm going to think about this wealth and I'm going to think about how I can do these things and this will be more comfortable and I'll have ease around this area. You can think I'll have more confidence when I reach this goal. I'll feel stronger in these ways. Or if you have health goals, you're like, oh, I'll feel more energized, I'll feel lighter, I'll feel stronger. You think about when you're dreaming, you think about these amazing feelings that you'll have. And then when you go to take the action, it doesn't feel that way. It does not feel that way. I don't have that confidence yet. What I have instead is this fear of not doing it right. I don't feel stronger yet. I feel wobbly and unsure of myself and not sure even if my form is good. So you go in when you think, yes, I'm going to go for that goal. You're going in this energy of the feelings you'll have when you get there. But all along the way, you're going to have a whole wealth of the full spectrum of emotions. You're going to have little wins, you're going to have little failures, you're going to have fear, you're going to have excitement, you'll have dread, you'll have determination. You'll have a whole range of emotions all the way down the road, right? So when we think, I'll be so comfortable, I'll be so confident, I'll be so energized, you will be, and you'll go through all of the range of emotions there and along the way, and you can go through them right now too. So, what do you do when what action do you take? What can I do in this scenario? So, one thing that will happen when you go to do the action, to do the task, your brain is going to skip ahead. Here I am in step 1, marching pit and pat down the road. Your brain will go to the end result and say, what you're doing is not enough. What you're doing isn't going to work. What you're doing is too small to make a difference, or all the things, or you're going to do it wrong. Your brain is going to it's going to make this huge sweep, and it feels hugely overwhelming and it feels kind of horrible. So what do we do when things feel horrible? Well, we get the heck out of there. We don't stick around to feel horrible feelings most often. But if you take a look at those feelings, those thoughts that you are having as you're like, dun, 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 and so I should get out of here, they're usually very broad. They're usually very vague, and they are totally only an opinion of your mind. They are not based on facts. They're based on opinions. Now, your brain will gather evidence for whatever it's trying to prove to you, but it is just a vague opinion. So, what can you do? You can go and get very detailed, very clear, very specific about the task at hand. So, if you've done your dreaming about your goal, and then you've done your planning about how to get there, then you're in this task. Your brain wants to multitask. It wants to think about all of that. It's jumping ahead, it's jumping back, it's going back to the past and trying to use that against you. You want to constrain it just to this one task. We're not multitasking here, brain. We are just doing this one thing. So, in order to do that one thing, you want to get detailed. Okay, what are all the things I need to do in this one thing? And then your brain will say, you don't know how to do that. What if it fails? And you say, that's broad, that's vague, that's an opinion. We're not going to worry about that right now. What are the items I need to do? What are all the ways that I can accomplish this task? Now that gives your brain a job. What are all the ways that I can complete this task? Okay, I'll go find the ways. Your brain likes clarity. It likes being specific. It also likes a job to do. So when it doesn't have a job, it worries, right? I bet we've all been there. When you're awake at 3 a.m., what's the choice? Worry. um, so what you want to do is, number 1, detail the items. What do I need to do? Number 2, what am I thinking and feeling about these specific items? Not the end goal, these specific items. What's happening in my brain? What do I need? What am I thinking about this? And how am I feeling about this? And then what you can do is bring this into very specific tasks at hand. So bring this into, okay, I can start by doing this one thing. If I'm if I'm writing a protocol, for instance, I need to teach people how to do something. I can get started with what's the first thing that they're going to need to know. What are things that they don't need to know that they're going to want to think about but aren't actually relevant? What are ways that it's going to go wrong, ways that it's going to go right, ways that they'll know they're doing it right when they practice, ways they'll know they're doing it wrong when they practice. These are all just ideas of if I'm writing a protocol for something, these are just things that I can give the tasks that I can put to myself to not worry about, oh my gosh, I have this amazing trained person that can do all these things with a great attitude and they're always on time. I'm just thinking, how am I going to train them how to do this one thing, for instance? So it's really quite simple. When we go and we have this big goal, we want to hop to the end. We want to hop to the feeling of the end and the result of the end. So when we're in a task and we're hopping to the end, the thing to do is bring yourself back to the moment. Now, I do want to offer this. There are definitely times when you're going to say, I don't feel like doing this thing. Doesn't matter. Who cares? When you have something that you have at one point deemed important, there's always going to be a time that you don't feel like doing it. And is that a good excuse? Probably not. Hey, I didn't achieve this whole list of goals because I just didn't feel like doing them. That doesn't feel good at the end of the day. What you fear is that at the end of the day, I'm going to mess up all these things. But what you'll find when you're actually taking the action is you're going to mess up a couple. You're going to learn these are going to go great. This is going to be way beyond what you ever even imagined. And you're going to have so much more information as you're going. So when you get to the task and you think, I don't feel like doing it, that's just a broad thing that your brain will offer you to try to get you the heck out of there. What you can tell your brain instead is, I can just get started on this one thing. Can I just do this little bit? Wonder all the ways I could do it even when I don't want to do it, and how that's perfectly okay. So I hope this has been helpful to get you into that clear vision of not hopping to the end, but allowing yourself to get really clear, really detailed, really focused in the moment. Look forward to seeing you next week, and sign up for those tips in the link in the comments to get weekly how to get it done for me.